Hello, I am Robert C. Jackson, the 2012 Artist in Residence at the Evansville Museum, and I'd like to just take a moment to talk about what I'm doing with my artwork. I am a still life painter in the realist tradition. Typically, a still life painter is someone who paints objects like flowers, fruit, etc. on a tabletop. I started out doing that, eventually got a little bored with it, and the longer I sat alone in my studio, my objects started speaking back to me, talking to me, wanting to do something more than just sit there on the table. So first of all, I wanted to get them off the table. I began looking around to find something that could replace that. One day in an antique shop, I found my first soda crate. I fell in love with it. Here was something that was brightly colored, primary, secondary colors, yellows, oranges, blues, reds, purples. And then also, they represented Americana, they had chips, they had weather of living here in this country for a long time. They also had text, silly words, anything of crates from Dr. Nut to swallows. They also allowed me to put words that a realist painting can't normally put in there that explain a little bit of my narrative that were to show up in these future paintings. So what I started doing is taking the traditional still life prop, many things like the apple, and making them represent people, doing things, feats of daring, quests for immortality, just making statements about our personal lives and having a little bit of fun with it. I enjoy the tradition I'm in, but I also enjoy poking fun at it. So my table with a lobster and oysters on the half shell would probably have hot dogs and a gummy bear along with it. I want to look like I'm a realist painter living in the 21st century. Sometimes realist tradition looks like they don't live today. I have a fun time saying, yes, I do, and I have some commentary to say about it. Now, each of my paintings also, people say, what's happening eventually in it? My whole goal is, much like a director of a play, I am creating a stage with Act 1 there for you. And my goal is that the viewer can live with the painting for a long time and figure out in their own mind what Act 2 and what Act 3 would be, so that they sit back and maybe that story changes. And I find it fascinating that people come to me and say, oh, do you know what I see happening at the end of that war you've created? It's completely different than I imagined. That's the wonderful part of it. I'm giving Act 1 of a story and letting others have Act 2 and 3. So thank you for your time.